Hey guys, I'm sneaking off early this Friday evening because I've heard a little whisper that there is some bioluminescent algae down in Jervis Bay. So I pulled an early mark. I'm going to go down, photograph the sunset, see if we can't find this bioluminescence afterwards, and make a nice video for you lovely folks of the whole adventure. So strap in, get on board, and let's go. Well, after a pretty slow slog of a journey south down of Jervis Bay here, we finally arrived in Bioluminescence National Park. I'm just on the road that leads down to the very far end of the park. We've just gone past Green Patch, just coming up on Bristol Point, hole in the wall as well, coming up soon. And at the end of this road is Murray's Beach and the Murray's Beach boat ramp. As I said, the traffic was pretty damn mad. Little tip for you, if you're ever coming down to the south coast, try and come down on a day other than a Friday, because what happens on Friday is all the fine and lovely gentle folk of the big city of Sydney get in their cars and they drive them south down here, and you'll see a lot of them on the road, lots of boats on trailers and caravans being towed, and families coming down to their expensive south coast weekenders, or perhaps they're staying in a tent. Let's not criticise them. Anyway, they're coming down to the south coast and it is a bit of a slog, so if you can come down another day other than late on a Friday, anytime after lunchtime on Friday, it starts getting pretty crazy. Anyway, the weather is very overcast and cloudy at the moment. There is a slight gap on the horizon, so there's a possibility we might get a little bit of sun backlighting the sky, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not convinced we're going to get any sunset colour, but we'll have a look. But as I mentioned, the main reason we're down here today isn't to photograph this sunset. It's because we've heard a little whisper on the grapevine that there's been some bioluminescence at one of the beaches down in Vincentia. So once we're done here, we'll get back in the car, drive out of Bioluminescence into Vincentia, and see if there's any bioluminescent algae or plankton or whatever the hell they are. Little critters in the water that bioluminesce when the water's agitated and turns it neon blue. It's an early spring day today. It has been quite cold, but warmed up a little bit today, and I had high hopes for this evening, but there you go, dashed once more. I'm guessing we're going to see a few people fishing down here. It's a very popular spot for that. I can see the tide is in at the moment. There's a possibility that we might see some of the red algae down here too, which will be great. be early spring, but it's still bloody lovely down here, I've got to tell you. And the really good thing about when the sky is overcast like this is that you can see what's in the water really easily, because there's no sun glare shining on the water, so you can see all the fishes, the stingrays, all the cool stuff swimming under the water. It's brilliant. Well, the sky is actually brightening in the east there. There's a little bit of clear sky coming through. Slightly different story in this direction though. You can see it's still very cloudy over the top of the boat ramp. So if you carry on walking down here from boat ramp down in that direction, you come to Murray's Beach. Over there you can just see Bowen Island, which is not accessible to the general public due to the population of little penguins that live on it. See, it's pretty damn dark now, so I'm not sure how this is going to come out on the old iPhone, or indeed if I can film anything down on the beach, but we'll try our best. I've got my 50mm lens with me, which I can open right up to a really wide open aperture of f1.8, which lets in loads and loads of light, so hopefully we'll be able to record some footage on that. Just been messaging my friend Matt down on the beach, and he's saying that no sign of the bio so far, so tonight may well be a bust, but we're going to wander down there and have a look for ourselves. Alright, so we're down on the beach. It's not quite as dark as it looks on this phone, but it is pretty dark. I'm just looking in the water for the telltale red algae, and I'm not seeing any, unfortunately. So I might walk up the beach a little bit, because it sometimes collects in the rocks sort of pools in them, so we might wander up the beach a little bit. Can't go too far because the tide is right in, but I'd be expecting to see some signs of bioluminescence in this water if it was happening tonight. So it's looking like it's a bust, but we shall see. We might walk down the other way as well and have a look. Okay, so it's the next day, and as you might guess, we struck out looking for the bioluminescence, and that's just the way it goes. I'm very lucky in that I have got some good friends down at Jervis Bay who tip me off when there's signs of the bioluminescence appearing, and I'm able to get down there. But other than that, your basic option is to just check areas where it's been known to appear on a regular basis. Now around here, it actually appears in quite a large geographical area, but in Jervis Bay it normally collects over on the southern side and can be anywhere from Murray's Beach all the way around the inside. It's been seen at Hyams, all the Greenfields, Green Patch, all these beaches it's been seen at in the past, so it could be at any of them. Now the problem is that we live in this Instagram tick box, checklist, bucket list era in which everybody wants to see this amazing natural phenomena, but it's not something you can just, you know, arrange to go and see. There's no real rhyme or reason as to when it will appear at a beach, and nobody can forecast when it will happen. I've had emails from people in America and from Japan saying, I'm coming to Australia, I'd really like to see the bioluminescence. Can you tell me where and when to go? No, I can't. You can't forecast this stuff. All you can do is check in areas where it's been known to appear. That's it. Now, if you do strike gold, or blue in this case actually, and you encounter a bit of coastline or a beach or some rock pools where there is some bioluminescence, how can you best capture it with your camera? Well, depending on how bright the bioluminescence is, you'll be able to use a pretty standard digital camera to capture it, as long as it's got a fairly high ISO, which you can find in the settings. Just makes the sensor much more sensitive to light. So you need to crank up the ISO, you need to open that aperture on your lens up as much as possible, as wide as you can. If it goes down to something like f1.8 or something like that, that's perfect. But you need to turn that to its lowest possible setting, so the aperture is wide open. So f4.5 is as wide as my wide angle lens goes, but I've got a 50mm that goes a lot wider. And then you need to do a fairly long exposure in order to capture this stuff. I typically do something like 15 to 20 seconds, sometimes longer, depending on how much light there is and how much movement I want in the water afterwards. And it also depends on if I'm trying to catch something like the stars in the sky at the same time. So whilst this particular search for bioluminescence didn't turn up any of the bright blue stuff, I thought I'd show you some examples of the photographs I've captured of this stuff in the past. These were all taken in Jervis Bay. I'm going to queue up a little slideshow of the best images that I took. Thank you all for coming along on my little armchair adventure, and we'll sign off with a little slideshow of the bioluminescent photographs that I've taken down here in South Coast, New South Wales. Stay tuned. The warmer weather is here, spring's here, and I've got some amazing new adventures all teed up. We're going to go head out and about with the camera and the drone and capture some more of this amazing region. Thanks once again, guys. I'll catch you next time. Bye!